Today we're going to be doing a very exciting video, a DIY project. A few months ago, I went to ICP, the International Center of Photography in New York City, the Lower East Side. And I went with Photo Dom. He hosted an event. That's the owner of the first Black-owned film shop in Brooklyn. And we developed film using Caffenol, Caffenol mixture. If you don't have experience developing film, usually the process involves a lot of chemicals, but this way is pretty eco-friendly, pretty non-toxic, and it's just all around a nice route to take. The only caveat here is that it's only possible for black and white film. You can develop color film with it, but it'll probably take on like a sepia type of tone to it. Luckily and unluckily, the roll I shot is in color, and I thought it was my Ilford roll. So we're gonna do a little bit of an experiment. I'm gonna be doing Kodak 400 today. There's a great site online where you can find the recipes and developing time. It'll tell you the times for like the popular films, the ones you may have. It's called caffenol.org. The closest to this one I could find was Kodak 200, and it follows the Delta Std recipe. It was the closest one, so we're just gonna follow it, see what happens, toss it up in the air. You know how we like to do it here. You know, not too technical, and go from there. So I'm gonna start off by opening up this portable darkroom. Everything I have here today I bought for this project. This is how dedicated I am to the channel, you guys. So if you're new here, subscribe, here's some of my work, and check out more of the videos on this channel. I really recommend them. They're really great, and that's not me just saying it because it's my channel. I'll also be adding links if you want to all the items I got, so you make sure to get the same things. I'll be adding the recipe exactly below in teaspoons and with measuring cups. So after multiple attempts and then reading some reviews on YouTube, apparently this apparatus has not worked for anybody, or at least not many people. So it led me to another video, because once I'm in here, there's no going back. And pretty much, you know, the same camera I shot it with, I have this little like bottle opener. Either this, I'm gonna pop the top off. That doesn't work, I'm gonna pretty much, you know, put this butter knife inside and peel it back like a fish, as the video said. And if not, I'll try to use this to open the top. Look at that, dude. We have to go fishing for it. Just quickly clean off my table, readjust ourselves, and get into the next part. This recipe has slight variations if you look in different places, from different people, but more or less the main things don't change. We're gonna need some instant coffee, you know, cheap one, whatever it is, vitamin C powder, and some washing soda. I have these tubes that I ordered for the video. You don't necessarily need them. They have the same instructions for tablespoons. Probably also be selling this stuff afterwards if you live in New York. And some more or less room temp water. So we're gonna go and start off with 1,000 milliliters water. Don't have what we need to get the right amount, so I'm gonna go with the teaspoon, and it says we need 12 leveled teaspoons of washing soda. So a leveled teaspoon, if you didn't know, is when there's not like, it's not like rounded at the top, there's not like excess. 3 teaspoons of vitamin C. Yo, you don't even want to know how many teaspoons of instant coffee it's gonna be though. 1, there's some fizzling going on. 2, Imagine this just blows up in my face. That'd be pretty crazy. 3. We have to put in 18 teaspoons of instant coffee and let it sit for 5 minutes afterwards. So it's been about 5 minutes. I don't know if it's the vitamin C or the washer that's like become kind of hard underneath this concoction. I'm trying to crush it up a little bit, but everything else seems more or less ready to go. Most recipes recommend putting in the developer between 10 to 15 minutes, but we're gonna follow, like we said, the Delta Std, which is the closest to this type of film we're using, and it recommends 11 minutes. So while we are developing, you want to agitate around every 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off, and that pretty much means, shaking it a little bit, flipping it back and forth, up and down. And in the meantime, I think I'm gonna go ahead and start preparing the fixer. We're gonna use a 1:9 ratio, 450 milliliters water with 50 milliliters of fixer. I'm using Ilford fixer. I'll be adding all the products I'm using today in the description so you guys can, use the exact products that I use and not have the confusion of trying to figure out what the right one is. I feel like a lot of times these sites online have like European products. Anyways, once the 11 minutes are done, you're gonna pour out the developer. You're gonna rinse it with water until it's all clear. So you're gonna pour in the fixer and leave it there for 4 minutes with some slight agitating, maybe not as intense as before. Finally, you're gonna just leave the water running into the tank for 4 to 5 minutes to rinse it. While you're rinsing, you can start preparing a small bowl of water with a few drops of detergent in it, and we'll just put the spool inside of this after the rinse just to prevent some water spotting, to reduce it a bit. And we can just leave that in for, again, a few minutes. And once we have that done, here comes the interesting part. We're gonna pull out the film. We're gonna squeegee it with our fingers if we don't have a squeegee tool, which pretty much means just like pull off the water off of it and see if our experiment worked, or if we got hopefully not a blank roll. I honestly was a big concern it wouldn't work, especially with the rough particles we had in that concoction. Dude, it worked! Oh my god, it can't believe it worked. Leave it drying for a few hours. You can just hang it up, in your bathroom. That's what I did, above the tub. Just make sure you put some weight on the bottom. I used some, studio clamps to hold it down. You want to give it some time, at least a few hours, to prevent Newton rings from forming. If you get too excited, you might pull it out while it's still a bit moist. Pause, and it'll make for not the best scanning. Lucky for you guys, today we're going to be going through the whole process from start to finish. So we're going to be using my Epson V600 scanner for this portion of the project. we're gonna go into SilverFast, which is the software needed to use the scanner. It's a bit of an antiquated interface, but once you get the hang of it, it's really not as difficult as it seems. So the first thing you're going to want to do before anything else is click pre-scan. It'll kind of give you a sort of preview of the images, a very rough preview of them. And then you're going to want to make sure that your settings are on negative. Click on each image and make sure the red frame it's in the selected area of where the photo is. You can either use the zoom tool to zoom in and go individually one by one and scan one by one, or you can go ahead and make sure all the frames are where they need to be and surrounding the image and do a batch scan. Those are pretty much the main things you want to do. Also, you want to make sure it's in JPEG. You can go and copy those same settings I have. Everything else you can pretty much ignore. This is the first photo that I pulled out with these scans, and I was like, wow, this is beautiful. And I took it to Photoshop, and I actually had to look through and peruse my old videos because I wanted to try something. It was a video I made on how to, change a black and white photo to color in like one click on Photoshop. And I had to look through my own video and apply it to this and see how it came out. And honestly, I think it's all right. I mean, I think when it comes to using this tool, this like AI colorized tool, sometimes it can it's not that great when it comes to like tan, brown, like skin, like when it comes to skin type of tones, or like clothes that are brown or stuff like that, or tan. But this didn't come out too bad. There's something special about black and white film. It's timeless, it's beautiful, it's strong, but elegant at the same time. There's a beautiful sepia tone to some of these images. Like we hypothesized at the beginning since we were scanning this colorized film. Thank you guys for watching. It's now about 10 p.m. This took up the whole day pretty much, but for probably the majority of the time I was like, holy guacamole, I don't know if this is gonna work. I don't think it's gonna work. I mean, I'm hoping it does. And it did, luckily. And the images came out beautiful. I was excited to look through. Even the surprise of seeing these pictures from my Japan trip, and the pictures we took came out wonderful, and we were able to have fun and play around with editing and looking at them, and luckily our prehistoric counterpart of the SilverFast was able to do the trick and work for us. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. Please leave a sub, please watch the other videos, leave a comment. Thank you guys for sticking through the video, and again, I'll be linking the instructions in the description. This is a new piece of gear if y'all are regulars, if y'all have been supporting for a while. If you haven't seen it yet, and you already know maybe what it means if I have this here, but I'll leave that up to the imagination. But I'll see you guys in the next episode. Thank you for logging in. Bye.